Hello, football fans. Welcome back to the Helmet to Helmet pod, joined by my constant co host, Deuce. I am Stokes. This is an episode I've been dreading to make for a couple of days now. How's it going, Deuce?
It's going very good if you are a fan of Buffalo, New York.
Yeah, yeah. Certainly tough wake up this morning for Miami Dolphins fans. We're going to get into that game and all the week four action a little later. First, we just want to say thank you for all those who entered our giveaway. Stay tuned for that later in this episode before our Thursday night picks. We're going to be announcing the winner of the giveaway for all sorts of pink football gear for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Um, also, keep an eye out for in the near future. We're going to be doing a couple Madden code giveaways. If you're a Madden fan, if you're a football fan, we've got a PlayStation code and an Xbox code. Keep an eye out on our Instagram for that. Deuce is going to be running that through the Coach Deuce page and through our HTH Instagram page. That should be going up in the near future. But yeah, Deuce, why don't we get right into it? We'll start. The Buffalo Bills absolutely dominated the Miami Dolphins week one. Um, Deuce, why don't you start with a couple takeaways from that game? Could be good, could be bad. Anything you really thought about it?
So my takeaways are Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL. Um,
Oh
that
my
that
God.
that Dolphins defense is way worse than I thought. I before I knew, and it's kind of like you said, it's really every year. They're very aggressive. When it hits, it hits. But when you miss, it's a bad miss. And I feel like that is
Yeah,
the Dolphins defense like the last 5 years. Is that when
yeah.
you do win aggressively and you are getting sacks and everything, defense looks real good, but then there's days where everything's just off. Like absolutely
Hmm.
everything. Um Another thing, I don't know, cuz like you said during the game when we were texting, I don't know if Tua didn't really play that bad. He just didn't score every single drive like the Bills did. At
Yeah.
halftime, what was 10 point deficit?
Um,
It was 10 or 14 point
no.
deficit.
Yeah, it was I'm trying to think. It
I think
was
it was 28-14, right?
yes. No, it's 31-14, 17-point
Okay, so
deficit.
yeah, it was a 17-point deficit. Tua scored on 50% of his drives, but the Bills just scored on
Hmm.
every one. I think they punted once.
Yeah.
But I I don't know how to evaluate that cuz you're not going to score on every drive. That's just not realistic.
No.
Obviously, I think that they had a really good game plan for the motion. They showed a lot of match coverage, which was what two were struggling with, is because when you do match coverage, it's basically you start in zone and then based on the pattern, it turns into man. And usually the patterns
Yeah.
are like anything deep. So if a guy's running deep and it's covered two, instead of him just like sitting and waiting for the next guy to come into the flat cloud flat, he'll just
Hmm.
run with the receiver to go deep. So I think
Right.
that's what the Bills did very good on is they did a lot of match coverage. So they're like, we're gonna show zone because Tua loves to hit the middle of the field, and then when the receiver does go 10 to 12 yards downfield, we're just gonna match and we're gonna stick on him.
Yeah.
Uh, Obviously Trey White got hurt. That's a huge loss. We really don't
Yeah.
even have a number two corner. It's by committee on that side. So we've
Hmm.
been basically holding off Elam and not trying to feed him to the Wolves. Our pick from last year or 2 years
Last
ago, I
year.
said, yeah.
Yeah.
But my man's gonna have to play. Like
Yeah. For sure.
he and I don't. The corners scare me. Benford, he's really good tackler. He's
Didn't he
physical.
also get hurt? Did
Yeah,
he come
Benford did
back?
get hurt too. I think it was concussion. Um,
Okay. Yes, he'll be
but yeah,
back.
Benford got hurt. He's a good tackler, not a great coverer. I think Elam is not a great tackler, but like also not a great coverer. And then we
Yeah.
have Tyron Johnson, but he's mostly a slot guy. So I don't know if we push him out. Uh, Jordan Poyer didn't even play, so Hamlin only played special teams. Taylor Rapp was like the main guy. So I don't
Yeah.
know what we're gonna do on the defensive end.
Yeah.
I think that's all really
Yeah,
I had is that.
yeah. For me, quickly, right out of the way, Patrick Mahomes is still the best quarterback
I
in the
don't know.
NFL.
I don't
Not
know
even
about
going to
that.
entertain that discussion. Um, Number two, also, and I thought that how you phrased it is sort of how I phrased it. I actually, contrary to maybe popular belief, I don't actually think the Dolphins' offense played that bad. The issue is a couple things. Their offense is designed around the ability to play in equal, equal chance per se, where you can run or throw the ball. They're designed to have an open playbook the entire time. The rate the Bills were scoring at, you you had to throw the ball every single down, which the Bills were able to rush for constantly and get pressure while still be able to have 7 guys in coverage. That was the most under pressure he's been the entire year. I don't think they played a good offensive game. I'd give them a B or a B minus offensive game. If you look at terms of yards, their yardage numbers were there. They were able to move the ball. Um, they only scored 20 points, but they had a touchdown called back because of a penalty. They went for it on fourth down a bunch when they'd probably be taking field goals. I actually don't think the offense played as bad as a game as some people said, but the defense, as you had mentioned, is absolute Swiss cheese. We knew without Ramsey it was going to struggle early in the year, but there are a lot of big name or bigger name guys that are struggling right now. Bradley Chubb, outside of the New England game, has been awful this year. Christian Wilkins held out the entire training camp wanting to get paid more money. He's playing like an above average defensive tackle. Their linebackers have been god awful this year. Jerome Baker has been horrible. David Long has been horrible. They can't tackle. Um, Kader Kohu, I'm a huge fan of. He's been fantastic in his career. Undrafted rookie free agent last year.
Is that number
But the
4?
thing is, yeah,
Number 4
he
needs to be
is
locked out
not,
the facility. He should not have a
dude,
job
he is
Monday morning.
not. The issue is he's not a boundary corner. He's a slot corner. He's a nickel corner. He is not a number 2 cornerback. And trying to match him essentially one-on-one with Diggs the entire game obviously is a horrible idea. I don't know what they were thinking there. Do I think their defense is going to be as bad as they've played? No. Nick Needham, one of their starting corners, is going to be coming back off the IR hopefully this week. When Ramsey comes back, they're going to be better, obviously. I expect them to make a trade for a defensive piece, but man, their defense is god awful, which is why their defense has been why I've been hesitant to put them in the Super Bowl contender category, and it's still why I don't put them in that upper echelon of San Francisco, the Bills, the Eagles, the Chiefs, Dallas. Those 5 teams for me are in what I would call the Super Bowl contender category, and then I would have the Dolphins, the number 1 team, out of that category. I just can't see the defense doing well. But sometimes you just take one on the chin, you move on. They've got the Giants at home and the Panthers at home next 2 weeks.
Damn.
They should be able to handle business, get to 5-1. Honestly, as a Dolphins fan, if you would have told me they'd be 3-1 through 4 games with their only loss at Buffalo, I would sign up for that 10 times out of 10. So we'll see what happens. I don't I still think, and I'm staying with my prediction from episode 1. I still have Miami 11-6, second place in the division, winning a wild card game and losing in the second round of the playoffs. Nothing has really changed. I think their offense is really good. I think their defense is really bad. So we'll see we'll see what happens there. I think Josh played fantastic. I think that the Dolphins didn't have a great game plan, and I think that the AFC East still runs through Buffalo, despite the AFC East's best attempts to stop that. Um, So we'll see what happens. Looking across the rest of the NFL, similarly to Buffalo, a lot of big name teams dominated this week. Starting specifically with the 49ers, they look pretty unstoppable. Christian McCaffrey, if you have him in fantasy,
Oh
you're
yes, sir.
probably doing very well. He is an absolute cheat code, Deuce.
Absolutely. What do you 44 this week? He has scored.
He
What
had
is it? 13 weeks in a row, right?
13 straight games. He
That's
had 4
crazy.
touchdowns, 180 all-purpose yards yesterday. Their defense is incredible. Their offense, though, Deuce, looks pretty good. Brock Purdy's playing at a great level.
Yeah, no, yeah. Brock Purdy's. I think he's like 78 completion percentage or something like that. Like pretty up there. I
Yeah,
think it's almost
he's
80.
he's
Play
playing very
action.
well. He's in a very friendly quarterback system. But he looks pretty pretty serviceable to say the least. Uh Another one, I don't know how much you saw this game, Deuce, the Dallas New England game.
Yeah,
That was
yeah, I was optimistic on that one. I gotta stop being optimistic with
yeah,
my picks. I'm gonna start
yeah.
tanking down.
That was your upset
That
pick,
was my
right?
upset
Was that your
pick. I
yeah.
thought the defense would at least
Um
be able to do something, but first of all, sorry. That if you did not watch that Mac Jones interception, it's not even that you had to watch the Mac Jones interception. I was watching the game, and
yeah,
2 plays before Mac Jones did the same exact thing, and it was somehow completed. He called
yeah.
hike, rolled out to the right, had a hitch on the backside, which should be if it's within 5 yards, like that should be your first read. Like, so I don't know
Mhm.
how you can go through all three of your progression and think you can throw something short 5 yards at a route that is not in motion.
Across the
So
field.
yeah, so and
Yeah.
across the body, across the field, everything. So rolls out, throws it real late, like a literal sail. Somehow gets completed. Only got like 3 or 4 yards. But tell me why they tried to do the. I don't even know if it was they, maybe just Mac Jones, tried to do the same exact thing 2 plays later. And obviously it gets jumped for 6. I
Yeah.
was astonished.
Yeah, for those listening, Deuce and I are pretty well-known advocates that we do not think highly of Mac Jones. I still don't know how he made the Pro Bowl his rookie year. He was playing better that year than he has the last 2 years, but the Patriots are an absolute dumpster fire. We actually just learned they just traded for J.C. Jackson for a reunion. Not sure how that's going to work out, but um, I don't think Mac Jones is good. I don't think anything about that Patriots team is good other than their defense, which I don't know. I mean, it's pretty good, I guess. But Judon, speaking of that, Judon, they
Hurt.
just said is out at least 2 months, and Christian Gonzalez is most likely out for the year. So they're probably their two best defensive
Mm.
players now are missing serious time. That's gonna hurt. Um, I don't know truly what you do if you're the Patriots. Belichick without Tom Brady has not won a lot of games. Mac Jones probably isn't the guy, Deuce. Do
Not at
you
all.
think what are you doing with Mac Jones? I'm probably not picking up his 5th-year option, to be
Absolutely not.
honest.
Absolutely not.
Um I I don't know. It's hard for me. They are the clear cut probably third place team. Um they look like an absolute train wreck.
Yeah. You can't. There's no way Mac Jones can be your quarterback next year. Maybe I know Bill Belichick doesn't tank, but maybe you
Yeah.
try for like a Caleb Williams or a Drake May. Even with that, though, you can insert Caleb Williams or Drake May. You still don't have a top
Any weapons.
30
No
receiver,
weapons.
top
Yeah.
30 receiver, or a top 20 running back. So I don't know what you
Mhm.
expect. A quarterback, obviously, a quarterback can do a little bit more, but especially for a rookie, it's very vital to have a clear cut number one option that he can kind of turn to and lean on to
Yeah.
develop. Yeah, I
Yeah,
just
that's for to play devil's advocate a little bit. while I don't think Mac Jones is good, the Patriots have not given him much support to work with. Yes, he plays with an amazing defense, which some could argue is support, but he has never been given any sort of true number one weapon or any weapons at all to begin with. So I don't know. I think if you're the Patriots, you just kind of got to lick your wounds. I think you keep him next year, and then once his contract is done, you let him walk. Um, on the flip side, though, Dallas, it's weird for me to say I don't truly know how good Dallas is.
They're not.
They are the
They're the
most
same team.
confusing team. They're the most confusing team for me in the entire NFL. They're 3-1. They have like an 89-point differential. They've blown out three really bad teams and also lost to a really bad team, which is why I'm like, okay, like I don't know how good they are. I'm going to hold off on grading them until they start playing some better teams,
The
but they're
49ers.
as of right now to me they're for sure a top 5 team.
I think they're gonna get
Um
smoked by the Niners. Blitzed.
when is that?
This week. Sunday night.
Oh, that's a big game.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
gonna
it's a
get
big game.
blitzed. Because
Uh
it's back in.
looking elsewhere.
Sorry, it's
Go
back
ahead.
in. It's back in the Bay Area too. It's not even home.
Oh, yeah.
Blitzed.
Yeah, we'll get into that one next episode. I'll probably be taking San Francisco. Looking across, Deuces Ravens also pretty convincing win. The Browns also are a pretty confusing team. Lamar, I think, is playing at a pretty high level right now. Ravens, I have sort of in that same tier as Miami, where they're good enough where I could see a world in which they win the Super Bowl, but definitely not good enough to be put in that upper echelon of teams.
Yeah, with the Ravens. Uh, Lost my train of thought. My fault.
No, they're your number one seed in
Yeah.
the
So the Ravens as my
first.
number one seed. I think that they obviously lost to the Colts. That was a close one. Still should have won because of the call, but whatever. I do. I think they're good. I still think they're good. Lamar Jackson has the best completion percentage in the NFL. They were without Bateman and OBJ last week. Still got it done big. I don't know what to call the Browns, like you said. I have no clue how to rate them. Last week before they played, they were somehow a top 10 team in the NFL via power rankings. Don't know who made those.
It's because their
Their
defense
defense
has
is
been
yes,
nuts,
like
but their
top two.
offense sucks.
I will
Yeah.
give that. Their defense was like top 2 before they played the Ravens. Yeah, but their offense is god awful, especially
Yeah.
without Chubb. Deshaun Watson
Mm,
looks like he hasn't played football in 3 years, and I
yeah.
just don't know. He's nowhere near the same player. And how long is that
No.
contract? Do you know?
I think it's 5 years,
Jesus Christ.
231 fully
Yeah, so
guaranteed $1 million.
they got still 3 more years to eat this freaking
Hmm.
contract, and he doesn't look any bit of good. Any bit of
No,
good.
no, no. I I don't know how I feel about the Ravens either. Just something about them for me feels like the same old Ravens where they look good in the regular season, start to tail off towards the end, and then lose in the playoffs. But maybe I'm wrong. Um, Another matchup I wanted to look at for specifically for one side, the Houston Texans very convincing win over the Steelers. CJ Stroud looks like he belongs as a rookie. He's doing a lot of things right now that not a lot of rookies can say they do. He's commanding an offense that frankly for anybody making offensive line excuses about their quarterback should look at Houston. Houston's
Mm-hmm.
top 6 offensive linemen right now on the depth chart are hurt. None of them played last week. They have a bunch of Walmart workers on the offensive line, and he's making that offense function. We'll get into it a little later. D'Amico Ryans right now, I think, is putting on a fantastic job as a coach. But to me, that game showed two things. The Texans may actually compete for the AFC South, which is something
Yeah,
I did not
my
think was going to
7-win
happen.
Texans.
Yeah, I had them at 3 wins, and they already have 2 wins through 4 weeks.
Yep.
And on the other side of the ball, the Steelers,
Oh man.
I don't yeah, I don't know how much I can say about their offense. Their offense is absolutely despicable.
I, this Ken, Kenny Pickett was had to be in his worst game. I think it was really hard to watch. It was very very hard to watch Kenny Pickett play football on Sunday.
Mhm.
Granted, the play calling might not be there, but all I remember is that 4th and 1 they had. It was kind of out of reach, but if they would have scored, it would have been some sort of like hope. If 4th and 1, it's got to be a one read because they're sending everyone. He tries to spin around and like do all this extra stuff in the backfield to try to like uh extend the play, which I think is his main thing. Is he tries to extend the play too much when it's kind of really not there.
Mhm.
And I just thought that was really bad. First of all, they didn't run the ball, but I mean they probably weren't confident in running the ball on 4th and 1. And then second, Kenny Pickett fully went through about a read and a half and then tried to spin backwards and avoid the rush and try to run for the first down.
His career. I thought he was able to move the ball. He took care of the ball, had his first multi-touchdown game as a pro, and then it just there's no week to week consistency, I feel like, which is the biggest thing to me. I don't think he makes enough throws that every single NFL quarterback needs to be able to make. I in Pittsburgh, I think there's a lot of finger pointing in a lot of different directions, and I think it's just their offense is a total mess. No one move is going to solve that. I think their defense is good enough where they can tread water with a bad offense, but I don't see any way in which this team contends for anything until they figure it out on offense. Another offensive team struggling as well is the Cincinnati
Oh
Bengals. And
yeah,
Deuce,
I'm
my
ready for this
question to
one.
you was how, after you get blown out against the Titans, who have looked horrible at times this year, how long can we excuse their offense before we start wondering if their offense might actually just be bad?
No, their offense is bad. It is bad. Joe Burrow has 2 passing touchdowns on the year.
Mhm.
Keenan Allen has 1 passing touchdown on the year. But here's the thing: Keenan Allen has a farther completion than Joe Burrow this season.
Yeah.
Josh Dobbs has double the amount of touchdowns as Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has
Mhm.
two touchdowns, 2 picks, and has two
Yeah.
completions past 15 yards. There is there
Mhm.
is no excuse for something like that. There is absolutely no excuse. They are bad. They are not good. Their line, I think, is bad, but I don't think the line is everything. Joe Burrow looks hurt. Their
Yeah.
offense, there's just nothing good about that offense. They barely score any points. They barely move the ball. I don't know how,
Mhm.
honestly, they won Monday night based on all
Yeah,
the other
neither
two
do I.
performances.
Yeah, Burrow, obviously you can tell something is not right. I mean, that dude is a statue right now. Why he plays every week, I truly do not know. He is not putting them in a position to win football games. Because he is hurt, it's just there has to be a change made. I think they should shut him down until he's fully healthy. But that team is absolutely god awful. Barring some miraculous comeback for the division, I don't see how they come back and I don't see how they come back and win the division. Maybe they sneak into the playoffs. I think they're still I think they still have really good pieces. Could I see them turning it around? Yes. Are they going to? Probably not. I mean, man, Joe Burrow through 4 weeks is the second lowest EPA per play of any quarterback. Somehow above Anthony Richardson, who I don't know how he's even that low, but he is playing at a level that I did not think was even possible for him to play at this year. I I don't know what you do, unfortunately, for the Bengals. my take is you just sit Burrow until you are fully sure he is 100% healthy. You're probably going to lose a bunch of games, which sucks because you're wasting now another season of Jamar Chase's rookie contract, which is a tough pill to swallow if you're a Bengals fan. But I mean, God forbid
And
Burrow
T.
gets
Higgins.
injured even further. Yeah, T
Higgins
is
might
going
be
to be
gone.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really difficult scenario, but I don't think they should play him simply because I don't think he should re-injure something.
Yeah, he looks absolutely
Yeah.
god awful out there. He should not be out there.
Yeah. Now, this is a segment I've been waiting to get into, Deuce. The New York Football Giants. Can we talk about this team right now?
It's pretty bad,
Can
man.
we talk
And I
about
and I
we
from the
we were just
jump,
talking about bad offenses.
from the jump,
Oh my,
I said from
yeah,
August that this is gonna be exactly what happens. And
yeah.
bro, it not even one person. That whole offensive line was a turnstile. A turnstile. The barn
Now,
doors just
some
opened on Set Hut.
oh horrible, horrible. It was floodgates open every play, and you know some Giants fans may not like it. Some Giants fans may call us Giants haters. Maybe that's true. We each were down on this team coming into this year. I thought last year the Giants, everything miraculously worked out for them. Now, before I get into how bad the offense and Daniel Jones are, I'm going to say two things, and I think they are both true at the same time. One, I think that Daniel Jones is not the biggest problem on this Giants team. Hell, I don't even know if Daniel Jones is in the top three biggest problems on this team. But also, number two, Daniel Jones is not a top 15 quarterback. At his peak, maybe he sneaks into that 10 to 15 range. And that contract they signed him to was the biggest contract mistake we've seen in the last couple years. Bro, if you're playing like this with a $10 million cap hit, wait until his cap hit goes into the upper 40s and $50 million the next couple of years, and they can't pay playmakers because their quarterback is a $50 million
On the
cap hit.
bench.
He is. Listen to this. He has been under 200 passing yards in 3 out of 4 games. It is 2023. It is
And they've been down.
2023. You can't touch quarterbacks. You can't touch receivers. Anything under 200 passing yards is a colossal failure. And he has found a way to do that 3 out of 4 games.
With
Yeah,
garbage
they're
time.
playing good defenses, but 200 yards. I'm not asking for 300 yards. I'm not asking for 400
You're
yards.
asking for
Hell,
a
I'm
half
not
of
even asking
football.
for 250. Yeah, give me 200 passing yards. They have scored 15 points in 10 quarters, not against hell in 14 quarters. Any quarter not named the second half against the Arizona fucking Cardinals. I mean, what are we doing in New York? Actually, I I don't know. I think that they have solidified themselves in the bottom 7 teams. I think their offensive line is atrocious. I think Daniel Jones sucks. Their number one receiver is a 31-year-old tight end coming off of
He's that
major
old?
injuries the last 2 seasons. Dable, I think, has taken a step back. Their defense, I actually don't think their defense is as bad as some of their numbers make them out to be, but it's hard knowing the defense has to give up 10 points or less to win a football game every week.
And they've probably been out there double the amount of time as the offense.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
that's
so that's the last team we'd talk about from the week 4 recap. The Giants, neither of us were big Giants people coming into this year, but somehow they've been worse than I expected, which is pretty crazy. The next segment we're going to get into today if you go back to episode 1, Deuce and I gave our end of season award predictions. We gave our MVP, offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, etc. Now we're going to go through, rehash them, give some MVP, some way too early award winners. I wrote down a couple people that I think also are acceptable answers. Now, again, this is way too early. These are probably going to change. But as of right now, we think these are some people playing some great football. I'm going to start it off in South Florida. I'm not going to give into recency bias. I'm going to
Oh
look
my
at a full
god.
season's
Oh
worth of
my
production,
god.
a full 4 games worth.
Oh
And I'm going to
man.
say right now, my way too early MVP is Tua
Mm,
Tagovailoa. I think that through 4 games, he is leading or top 3 in pretty much every single major quarterback category, which we know the MVP award is a quarterback category. And you can say all you want about his help and Tyreek and Waddle and everything. But it's funny how those arguments never apply for Joe Burrow when he has Jamar Chase or T. Higgins, or Jalen Hurts when he has Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, or Mahomes when he had Kelsey and Tyreek. So I cannot stand that argument. I'm not punishing him for the head coach coming up with a scheme to fit his play style. That is the stupidest argument I have ever heard made. And now I have Josh Allen second to me. And the reason why I have Josh Allen second to me is because yes, he has looked out of this world the last 3 games, but I can't excuse a week 1 loss versus
it's a
Zach
scrimmage.
Wilson
It's a
that's
scrimmage.
on him.
It's a scrimmage.
I can't excuse that. I can't excuse a 4 turnover game. That's why I have 201. I can absolutely see a world in which Allen is 1, but for me, I've got 201. I've got Josh Allen 2. Do I expect it to stay this way? Probably not, but that's why it's called way too early awards.
Yeah, I already said it in the opening. Joshua
Yeah.
Patrick Allen is going to be the MVP of the 2023 NFL season. And I was telling you guys this last year too, when we got off to that good start of being, I think we were 4-1. Oh no, we lost to you guys like week 3, or was that week 4?
Yeah, week 3.
Yeah. Well,
That was week
regardless, we
3.
still had like a pretty good start. But I truly think the Bills play better if we just get punched in the mouth first. And I've been saying it for the last 3 years. I hate when we start off 5-0, 6-0 and shit, because
Yeah.
we always get it. Everyone throws the high horse and like, oh my God, Super Bowl contenders. We can't handle that,
Mhm.
man. We need people to talk shit week 1 and say, listen, like this team is not as good as we think. We like being underdogs. I don't know what it is. Maybe we need another really, really bad loss for people to question us like mid-season in case we get too high on our horse, depending.
Yeah.
But I think so far it's worked because Josh Allen looks like a completely different human being now. He's had 2 games out of the 3 where he's thrown 82+% completion percentage. And the last 3 games, he's been 77% completion percentage, 812 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 1 pick. What more can I ask for?
Yeah. I now also strengthening your argument personally, I'm not a fan of completion percentage. I think the completion percentage is a very faulty metric. What you should be using is the fact that he leads the NFL in completion percentage over expected. The issue with completion percentage is you can throw a bunch of 1 and 2 yard passes and complete all of them and look amazing. But what's more impressive to me is that his completion percentage over expected. He's throwing difficult passes. He's not throwing the ball downfield a ton, but he's throwing the ball downfield plenty, and usually they're working. So to me, that's what's more impressive is his completion percentage over expected. He is not just throwing a bunch of difficult passes. But what I think is impressive to me is, yeah, he's still going to throw the picks. He's going to have the games where he throws a bunch of picks. But to me, he's throwing a lot less of just fuck it. Diggs is down there. I'm just going to chuck it to me. If Diggs is in double coverage, I'm going to take the underneath route. I'm going to pick up 5 or 6, which I think to me is something that Josh hasn't really done that much in his career. The explosive plays are there, the crazy plays are there, but to me, the impressive part of his game this year is I feel like he's a better quarterback this year and less of just a freak athlete NFL player. I think he is better in the aspect of he is better quarterback than he has ever been in his career, which is why I've got him second. I can absolutely see him number one. But I'm sorry. I think it's tough for me not to say Tua when he is top three or leading basically every single NFL quarterback metric. And the one loss you can't really chalk up to him, whereas Josh, I mean, you can basically say he lost that first game. But that wraps up MVP. Offensive Player of the Year. Now, we each preseason predicted Tyreek Hill. Um, I I'm going with Justin Jefferson right now again. Um, I think I mean he's been over 100 yards every single game. He's got 4 touchdowns. I think he's been very impressive. I think Tyreek Hill is number 2 for me. He leads the AFC in receiving yards. I mean, he's been very impressive. He's got 4 touchdowns, 470 yards. The issue is for me is he's been he's had 2 games where he's been able to do whatever he wants, and then 2 games where defenses have schemed against him, and he hasn't really been able to get going. Not going to put that all on him, but I've got Jefferson 1, Tyreek Hill number 2.
I did write down Justin Jefferson just because I think that's the only reason that the Vikings are. I wouldn't even say they're
Even
afloat, but even like
yeah, 1 and 3.
yeah, even one
That,
and three. Uh I want to really say as like my 1A or 2A, whatever you call it. I really want to say Diggs, even though it was just one game. But I just don't think that if Josh Allen's going to be MVP, that you can give Diggs Offensive Player of the Year. I don't think that's possible because then if you have the Offensive Player of the Year,
yeah.
are you actually like MVP? I don't know. Because
Mhm.
I also, in the
Yeah.
same sentence, like a quarterback can make the receiver look really good, but at the same time, a receiver can make a quarterback look really good.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I did have Jetta too. I think we had pretty similar when I looked at it. One's going down the line
Uh-huh.
just based off what we saw in the last 4 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. Defensive Player of the Year. I had preseason predicted TJ Watt. I'm going to stay with that projection. I think while he had a slow game against the Texans, I don't think anybody has the. I think him and Miles Garrett. Miles Garrett was number 2 for me. I think they cause the most difficulties for offensive line. But I mean, you look at TJ Watt through 4 games, has 6 sacks, which is pretty unheard of, leads the NFL. He's got 2 forced fumbles, he's got a touchdown scored. Him and Alex Highsmith won that first win for the Steelers against the Browns. The 2 of them, I guess, two-handedly won that game for them. So I'm going with Watt. I'm sticking with Watt. I think he is fantastic. I think Miles Garrett is also very good, but I would go with TJ Watt.
Yeah, I did the opposite. I went with Miles Garrett, have TJ Watt at 2. Even though TJ Watt did score a touchdown this year, I just feel like Miles Garrett's a big reason why the defense has jumped to top 2 in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I did
Yeah,
see
he's
one. It was 1 week, but I don't know if it's gonna happen because it was the Raiders. But Khalil Mack had 6 sacks the other day.
yeah,
I don't
that's
think that's gonna
pretty
keep up. But if he like
no.
off of those 6 sacks stay steady, he's gonna be up there for sack leader. But he didn't have
Yeah.
any sacks before that,
Yeah,
so
he's tied with TJ right now for the
yeah.
lead off of 1 game. He had
Yeah,
no
so he had
sacks
no
before
sacks.
that.
So like that's why I kind of like pumped the brakes. But like if he does have a couple more like 3 sack games, maybe
Yeah.
it's just he did not, like you said, did not touch anybody the first 3 weeks.
Yeah. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I would imagine you have the same. I've
Hmm.
got Puka Nakao. Uh, I still cannot believe the production he is having right now. I could not tell you who he was coming into this year. He's got 500 receiving yards, caught his first NFL touchdown in the overtime winner last week against the Colts. He's second in the NFL in receiving yards as rookie right now. It's probably not going to keep up because of Cooper Kupp coming back off of IR,
Oh
but
damn, I
I
forgot.
would
Yeah.
imagine he should. I don't know if he'll win it, but as of right now, he's definitely number one for me. Stroud, number two, playing very well, but I mean, Nikau is literally playing like a top 3 receiver in the NFL right now as rookie through 4 weeks.
Yeah, I had CJ Stroud just because I think everyone is going to lean more towards the quarterback. I said if Puka
Yeah.
breaks some sort of record, I feel like that is kind of what happened because like that's kind of how like Justin Jefferson like blew up for Rookie of the Year is like
Yeah.
the records. Not that he already did set a couple records like the first 4 games for, and it's going to keep going up like most catches through 5 games, 6 games, yada yada. But I think if he breaks like some
Yeah.
sort of season record or is like really close, I think then he'll get over the top. But I just think that if CJ Stroud keeps playing like this consistent, I feel like CJ Stroud has to do less. If he,
Yeah.
he just needs to stay consistent, and I think he'll win it. Puka, I still think has to do a little bit more to kind of, even though that sounds absurd, but like just a little
Yeah.
bit more to actually uh, take that award from CJ.
Mhm. Yeah, going to defensive rookie of the year, I've got Jalen Carter. I've talked about him a bunch on this show. I still cannot believe the Eagles got him in the first round. I thought he was a top 3 talent from the last year's draft. He he reminds me very much of Aaron Donald. Through 4 games, he's got a sack and a half. He's got 2 forced fumbles, but the more impressive thing to me is he's constantly eating up double teams, getting in the backfield for pressures. I seriously in 3 or 4 years could see him being this generation of Aaron Donald. I think his value cannot be understated enough. He is to me just the best rookie, defensive rookie, bar none. I think he's right now the odds-on favorite for defensive rookie of the year. I think he's incredible.
Yeah. Who'd you say again? I'm sorry.
I said Jalen Carter
Jalen Carter. Yeah, no,
with Devin Witherspoon number 2.
Yeah, I had Devin Witherspoon, but that was recency bias because he actually had that 97-yard pick six yesterday.
Yeah.
I was very high. I'm doing pretty good with predictions, man. I said the Seahawks defense was going to be serious this year. They're looking like it. The Giants suck.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud making me look
Texans.
good. I'm doing a pretty good job. But
Yeah.
yeah, I got Witherspoon. I'm gonna ride with him. I think he has a couple more picks this season. I did have Will Anderson though, and he's got, I think he has 1 sack. He is
Yeah,
real quiet.
he's
One
been
sack, 10 tackles,
yeah,
been real quiet.
wrapping up the awards. Lastly, coach of the year. I'm also going to stay in South Florida and go Mike McDaniel. I think that any head coach who manufactures an offense that is potentially one of the best ever, I think always warrants coach of the year awards. My second was D'Amico Ryans. I think he's doing a great job in Houston, but I have to go McDaniel. I think that what he's being able to do on offense. I mean, you look that quick exit motion from inside out in the formation that the Dolphins created this year is already starting to be copied around the league. I think that he is just doing too much on offense not to give him that award.
Yeah. Uh, I got D'Amico just because I think they're gonna do good. I'm not forgetting about my guy Dan Campbell though, because that's who I had. And are they three?
Yeah,
They three
that's
and
a
one
good
or
one.
two? Oh no, they're
Three
three
and
and
one.
one. Yeah, they're 3-1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a
so
good one.
I'm gonna still ride with my guy Dan Campbell, but I'm gonna have the asterisk with D'Amico Ryans if they do get to that. I don't know
Okay.
how many wins they think. How many wins do you think he got to have to win for him to get Coach of the Year? You think they're gonna
Um,
have to a positive
the,
record just
the
because of how
Texans.
bad they were last year?
Yeah, I don't think personally you could give coach of the year to a coach with
To
a
like nine
losing
and eight,
record.
yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, if they bring that Texans team to the playoffs, yeah, he'd probably get it.
yeah. So they'd have to
And
win the
now
division.
the moment I think a lot of people are waiting for. We're gonna announce the giveaway winner. Now, for the winner, Deuce is going to be in contact with you on how you're going to get your stuff. But the winner of our giveaway is going to be Preston from Gibsonton, Florida, with the Instagram handle at PREST6NNN. Congratulations on winning all the gear.
Congratulations,
Again,
Preston.
yeah, look out for Deuce's. Deuce is going to reach out to you, give you all the information on how you're going to win your stuff. But also, again, I had mentioned it earlier. We are going to be doing a Madden code giveaway as well. Keep your eyes open for that. Yeah,
And then,
congratulations, Preston.
and then I would also comment if whatever you guys want to see, if you want whatever you guys want us to give away, you got ideas for
Mhm.
us, throw them in the comments below, and we'll be glad to look
Yeah.
at them and see if we can make that happen.
Yep. Now, moving into our last segment, we're going to do a quick Thursday night preview. I'm not too excited about this at all. Thursday night, the Chicago Bears at the Washington Commanders. The Chicago Bears, man, cannot get out of their own way. They're 0-4. They
With
have
a 21-point
actually a
lead.
50% chance to get the number one pick due to their own pick and Carolina also being 0-4. But man, Deuce, you're a big Justin Fields guy. What are your thoughts about Justin Fields and the Bears?
If Justin Fields plays like he did in the first half of last week, I really want to say I think they'll be fine. But for some reason, even when he played the best that he's ever played in the National Football League, they
Mhm.
found a way to
Against the
lose.
worst
They
defense
found a
ever,
way to
that
lose.
Broncos defense.
So
Mhm.
I do want to say very confidently, if he keeps playing like that, I believe I have it. I guess I don't have it. What do you
Yeah,
have? Oh no,
that was his best.
28
335
of
and four scores through the air.
yeah, 28 of 35 four scores, 80% completion percentage, and yeah, and 335. Like if we
That's
can
his.
put up that, I don't even need 4 touchdowns. You can give me
Mhm.
two and we'll hand off the third one and
Yeah.
give me like 280, but if we can stay at 80% completion percentage, I think we'll be straight.
Yeah, that was the best passing game of his career,
First
no
300
doubt.
yard
Believe it
game
or
in
not, it
27
is. Yeah,
starts.
yes, 3 seasons took him to eclipse 300 passing yards, which is pretty insane. Now, I'm gonna play the devil's advocate and say he also had a fumble six that probably
Lost the
lost
game.
them the game and a pick that was not great. But I do not think Justin Fields is a good quarterback. I'm going to be on the record saying I do not think he's good. I do not think you can win with Justin Fields. But also, I mean, that Bears team is a disaster. I don't know if any quarterback is winning a lot of games there, but I don't know. Thursday night, something I'm really looking forward to see is if he can keep this momentum, if he can string back to back solid games together. But if he goes back and you think, man, that was just because he was playing the Broncos, it's tough for me to see how anyone can defend him. So I'd say the number one thing I'm looking forward to Thursday night is seeing how Fields does. Again, can he keep the momentum going, or does he just return to old Justin Fields?
Yeah, I I really want to say if he plays like that again, it'll be fine. But he obviously played like that, and they still find a way to lose. The whole
Hmm.
organization is just. I think it just needs to be ripped top to bottom. It's
Yeah.
not good at all. But yeah, obviously I got the. I don't know if we're getting into this, but I still have the Commanders winning. They looked real good
Yep.
against the NFC champions last week, and
Hmm.
they moved the ball. They were
Yeah.
moving that ball. Had a chance to win. I think they got called for pass interference or something like that. And that kind of ended the game.
Hmm. Yeah, I've got Commanders as well. I think Sam Howell has played pretty serviceably this year. Their offense is much improved for last year. If you go back to the last game they played last year and the first four this year, they've scored over 20 points in four of the last 5 games, or 20 or more, I should say, in four of the last 5 games. You can win in the NFL consistently scoring 21 if you've got a good defense. They played Philly a lot closer than I thought they were going to. I like the Commanders pretty comfortably in this game. I don't see a world in which the Bears win. I don't think the Bears have a single facet of their game that is good. Not a single one, which is tough to say about an NFL football team. So I've got Commanders comfortably.
Yeah, as much as I want to ride the Justin Fields train, if you play that well and still lose, I just don't have much confidence.
Yeah. Yeah. That pretty much does it for our week 4 recap edition of the Helmet to Helmet pod. Again, congratulations, Preston, for winning the giveaway. Deuce will be in contact with you. Stay tuned. We're going to have another episode coming as a Week 5 preview, talking about all things Week 5 in the NFL, some exciting matchups we're looking forward to, and some teams we think are going to win comfortably. We'll have our picks, we'll have our lock of the week, our upset of the week. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Follow us on social media at Coach Deuce, at JStokes5, at the HTH Pod. Check us out on YouTube. And thanks for listening.